What's up, Magical Misfits? Drew here, and today we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to show you the studio. Anyone who has watched my channel for any length of time knows that my studio used to be very different. It was a hodgepodge of just mixed and matched stuff that I had and was able to get my hands on. There was an old chunky dresser, an old glass desk, which I actually really loved, a couple bookshelves, and a few pieces that are still in here, like my conjuring cabinet, but the space was not conducive. It wasn't working. And so I set aside funds from the business because while this is my witchy space, it is primarily for the business, to set the studio up in a way that worked better for the business. It is not complete, and I will show you guys when it is, fully complete, but we're a good ways into it. There's just some little, I need a few more shelves and some decorative elements that I want to put in, but for the most part we're good. I'm not going to go real in depth in this video with the tour just because, again, it's more for the business. So I think if I go in depth at all, I'll do that on my other channel that's devoted to the business. If you don't know what I'm talking about, my husband and I have been making candles since 2007. Yeah. And, we sold them out of a witchy shop that I worked at, one of my best friends owned at the time. And then when I left there, we moved into Etsy, and now we have our own website, and we make witchy products. And this is the space in which most of that happens. It's kind of a mess right now. Again, it's a working space, so bear with me. But here, let's see. If you've seen the studio space before, on this wall it was creamsicle orange, and there was a big, the symbol for the sacral chakra was on the wall, and it's been arranged a few different ways, so I can't really say as to what, was where, depending on when time it was. But now we've got all of these nice shelf drawers here. So there's one on this side and one on that side, and a work surface for me to be able to stand at and make my candles. Here is storage that I've had since before we even moved into this house. And here, again, stuff for the business. Most everything in here. I mean, this drawer is dedicated to, it's a witchy drawer. It's got bits and bobs in it that are important for witchcraft. But like this felt, for example, is for the business. These paper plates are for making candles, and here's where I make my candles and my beeswax candles. And all of these drawers are filled with various items that are conducive for making candles and so forth. This little sectional here, we've had forever. It had another tier to it, but we cut it off because it wouldn't fit here otherwise. Those are my essential oils and our backstock of incense. That's personal use. Containers and whatnot, stuff for making, I've got my beeswax for making my candles there. And I mean, there's all kinds of goodies. And these boxes here are, the bottom one has herbs and powders in it. And the top one has all my little critters, like, bees and butterflies and whatnot. And in this rack, you can see, is a lot of glassware. I also keep our magic chalk up here, but it's a nice little rolly cart that has made my life so much easier. This whole setup is so much more organized. These drawers are so organized. All of my tape and goodies and stuff, like the free gifts for orders, like everything I need pretty much to pack an order, almost all of it is right here waiting for me. It's so nice. Obviously, I have some product over here and then some personal stuff, and I love this shelf. Again, just stuff that, you always need a place for all your stuff. I have, here's a big empty spot here on the wall. More shelving will go in. Up top, I've got one of my staffs on my antlers. They're from a deer that my grandfather shot, and I inherited it. Here is the earth shelf, because this is the north-facing wall in the house. So it's just a shelf with some earthy goodness on it, and, symbolism, my drum. This is a working shelf, so my spoons and all my little sticks and stuff I need for working. A beautiful candle that Trish, Beanbag Hagwag, sent me a piece of petrified wood, spoons and knives and all the things. There is some product back there, wooden spoons we sell in the shop, but most of that is I use for working. Here is a sneak peek at the Samhain boxes that are in progress. I'm waiting on one piece to come in. That's my recipe box where I keep recipes for my oils or whatever. You know, packaging for a product. Up high is another shelf for storage. There's some of my books that I find important that I just want in my witchy space, and then just stuff. I've got, this wall is the air wall, the east facing wall, and so I've got a little mini shrine for Aset in here and my Egyptian books, and my air shelf, stuff relating to the element of air. You see feathers and a fairy, and a beautiful piece made by Dana, the Shadow Moon Witch, here on YouTube. I'm a Pisces, so it is my zodiac sign that she painted for me, and a piece that another beautiful woman whom none of you would know made me of my birth chart. And here we've got a sugar skull and a braid of sweetgrass, because above that is the shrine of death, the death shrine. In the back there's Santa Muerte, Our Lady Guadalupe in the back there, my husband's grandparents, a picture of them, and on either side there's a shadow box for my mother and her father on that side, and a shadow box for our dear soul sister, whom named me She Who Walks Between the Worlds, on this side. And just, you know, all kinds of good stuff that represents death. Another beautiful picture there in the frame that Trish of Beanbag Hagwag sent me. I love it. Over here is sort of a shrine, mostly for Golden Eagle, but there's all kinds of, Hanuman's up there. You can see Green Man. There's a sort of abstract goddess in the background. There's all kinds of goodies up there. And here's where I store my felted wool. This closet. There's all kinds of paperwork and stuff up here, like spiritual stuff related to me. Like I have my whole birth chart map, like this whole big packet about it, and all of my aura photography things, like just whatever. Paper towels. Packing, all of this is mostly packing stuff. There's my boxes for shipping orders, all that kind of stuff back there. And down here, oh, these are all altar cloths. They're really scarves, but you know, and I use them for staging photography. I know that this video is going to be jumpy and all over the place because it's a handheld, and I so very much apologize. Herb storage, again, this right here is all for the shop. This isn't personal use. And then there's all kinds of other goodies hiding in this closet that, you know, you just need to store stuff away. This is my Prosperity Witch's Ladder. It lives here in the studio, and it, you know, it's got all kinds of goodies on it. And a green candle for prosperity that's crooked right now, but that's all right. This is the fire wall, and there should be a cauldron up there, but it's on the front porch as part of the Samhain decor, so it's not there at the moment. But, you know, some fire stuff up there, candles. Made this little crescent moon decor. Ooh, another big spot for some shelf. Here's the conjuring cabinet, featured in many videos. All my herbs storage, my oils. These are the oils that we sell in the shop and that I use as personal use, of course. Some more goodies and storage for product. That's my scrying bowl there, and you know, more stuff. These guys right here are actually baskets flipped upside down, so there is stuff underneath them, but it's stuff that I don't find as attractive and I don't use very often, so it's hiding under there. My cauldron and Big Mama over here. My other big mortar and pestle was on the other wall on the work surface over there. And you know, just stuff. And underneath is it's not anything interesting at all. Crystal storage, crystal beads and chips and stuff, and just extra stuff that nobody wants to look at. Back stock of my herbs. You know, stuff that I use in my practice or in my business that's less than attractive. And we have the printer. Isn't that nice? And another box that has just random hideaway stuff, more herbs and powders and what have you. And then we work our way to the west wall, the water wall. My staff, my favorite staff, is over here in the corner. Down here is stuff for, it's mostly clay and things, you know, my big tiles that I work with clay. Again, we have drawers. These are shorter, so it's desk height. Another one over here, and there is a work surface across the top. So I have a desk area where I can sit and do things, and it's a mess because I am doing things. Storage. These are like the incense matches that we send out as free gifts. Up here is packaging for candles. This is my Cricut cutter, which I use to cut straight lines and stuff because I can't. This is our prosperity altar, which has always lived in the studio since we've had a studio. On the back, you can see Cronennos hanging out up there because he's earthy, right? My daughter made these. Any of you who don't know, I grew up in Japan, so I am such a nerd for certain things, and she made these for me out of little perler beads. I love them so much. My little, what do you call these? You know, bulletin board type deal. This is a nice little storage unit where I keep the stickers I put on our packages when they go out, of our logo, all of my cardstock here, which I use for various things. There's just, you know, tools, various tools I use, pliers, there's the big scissors, rulers, all kinds of goodies. And just a nice little place for organization. Ooh, and now it gets to the messy stuff. This is my financial ledger for our store, and oh, there's just stuff. I've been working. These are items that are going. I'll show you since you're here. They were drying because I polyed them, but they're little planchettes that are actually, there's a little smoky quartz orb that goes part of our Samhain boxes that I had painted up, and now I'm polying. So you see my paint and stuff where I've been working. Here's another project that's in the works. Ooh, it doesn't look good right now, but it will. I put frosted glass on the window here because I want natural light coming in, but I want privacy. It's hard to see because of the sun, but there's a bunch of different colored twine that hangs on that little copper rack there. Just tools for working with clay, all kinds of pens and markers. I keep my paintbrushes and my little Nightmare Before Christmas calendar thingy. This is for working with polymer clay. Here we have mica powders that I am moving over to these plastic containers, all these receipts that I need to go through and categorize and put them away in my little, under my desk here is my file index, my file folder, whatever, like my little pocket file where I keep everything that we need for our business. And the other side I have the trash can and a little box that I keep recycling in. And you know, and this box is actually my sewing kit, but it lives in here. All my paint storage and some crystals and spell bottles, and right here a bunch of bottles and some product for the shop. This is a mishmash of personal and business. And here's the water shelf and a beautiful picture painted by Beanbag Hagwag, Trish, here on YouTube. And a lovely thing that another witch that nobody would know made for me, my boss, actually, from when I worked at the witchy shop. And water stuff. And up above that, I've got pretty much all of my decks. Not my Egyptian decks are stored over on the Egyptian shelf, and I think my favorite tarot deck isn't up there. No, it is. It's right there. No. Yes. So yeah, that's all my decks. Some of them are in boxes. I have one Lenormand, several Oracle, and 2 tarot decks. No, maybe 3 tarot decks. And then here's another shelf for storage. I've got some product and some personal stuff going on. I want it to be mostly for product, but again, I need to put more shelving on this wall. And down here is, I have my old iPod, and it's docked so I can listen to music while I'm in here working, and just pretty stuff. The wand is something that we, it's exclusive for Pagan Pride, and it's kind of expensive, so it's never gone yet, but it's full of crystals. It's a copper tube full of crystals. So and then junk. Lots of storage in all my little trays. Basically, that's the gist. This is the space that I work in on a regular basis. Oh, I guess I didn't show right there when I went on that wall. If you're interested, I have a couple of staffs. They're just plain. I haven't done anything with them. I have the ring light, some more herbs, tables for doing divination or staging photos for what do you call it? Social media advertising. This video is kind of all over the place, and I could, you know, at some point talk a little bit more in depth about different parts of the studio. Like I said, I'll probably do some more in-depth studio tour videos on my other channel, because more than half of what's in here, I would say 75% of what is in here is business related, and the rest, you know, is personal. So since that's a business channel, it just makes sense to me. But at any rate, I know it's not the coolest video ever. I think there's so many things in here, honestly, that I could tell you more in depth what they are, where we got them, or what they're for. But there's just a lot of stuff in here. So I just thought I'd give a brief overview. But, you know, if anybody's interested in a closer look at anything, I'm more than happy to do that. I just kind of wanted to do a light video. I've got things I want to talk about that are a bit more, you know, deeper or more serious, related to my own personal, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical journey. But yeah, today I just don't feel like it right now, digging into any of that. So I just thought I'd do something a bit more lighthearted. At any rate, I hope that all of you had a wonderful Mabon, and that you're about to have a wonderful Samhain. I may do 2 videos this month because I didn't do one last month. I don't know what's gonna happen, guys. We're all along for the ride together. But, you know, as always, thank you so much for hanging out with me and listening to me blab about whatever I blab about. And until next time, much love and gratitude.